Hello, welcome back. This is the 7th problem for the regular season round of the MIT Integration Bee 2025. In this integral, we're looking for the integral of the fractional part of square root of x from 0 to 2025. I suggest that you pause this video first and try to solve this on your own. This problem is meant to be solved in 2 minutes. If you're ready, let's discuss my solution. Before we proceed to the actual integration part, I'd like to discuss first the fractional part function in case you're not familiar yet. The fractional part, denoted by these curly brackets right here, outputs the excess over an integer for any real number. For example, the fractional part of 1.5 is 0.5, which is basically the excess of 1.5 over 1, because that's the integer lower than 1.5 that is closest to the number 1.5. Meanwhile, the floor of, let's say, 1 is equal to 0 because it's an exact number, exact integer. So it has no sort of excess. Meanwhile, when we look at, let's say, 1.99, the fractional part of this is 0.99. How about square roots? For example, the square root of 2, the floor of square root of 2. The fractional part of this one is, or can be obtained by deducting the closest root from 2, which is, the closest integer root from 2, from square root of 2, which is 1. So in this case, it's square root of 2 minus 1. So this is the fractional part of square root of 2. You get it? Because 1.2, if you approximate that, if I remember it correctly, it's something like 1.41. So the fractional part of that is this 0.41 right here, which in exact value is equal to square root of 2 minus 1. Yes? You get it? Now in general, if you want to write a number, let's say x, in terms of the fractional part, that's square root of, the fractional part of x plus what we call the floor function of x. I've discussed this in another video. I put a link here. Basically, this is just splitting the number, for example, 1.5 as this one. The floor of 1.5 is 1, and then the fractional part is 0.5. So we can rewrite 1.5 as 0.5 plus 1. You get it? Okay, if that's clear now, I'll discuss 2 ways to integrate this function. And these 2 ways differ in terms of which element or under which element we are integrating with. That might be a bit vague at this point, but later on I'll discuss them in detail. So let's discuss the first solution. So as I've mentioned, the fractional part of x, or the square root of x, can be written as the square root of x minus, let's say, n, where n is equal to the floor of square root of x. Like in our example earlier for square root of 2, the fractional part of square root of 2 is equal to square root of 2 minus 1, where 1 equals the floor of square root of 2. Yes? So this means that we can split the given integral into several intervals so that we can have these expressions for each of the integrand. For the first interval, we put the interval 0 to 1, square root of x minus 0 dx. This is because all real numbers between 0 and 1 will have a floor equal to the square root of x minus 0. In other words, it's just square root of x. That must be the case because the square root of a number between 0 and 1 is less than 1. So of course, it's always going to be the fractional part of itself. Right? The next interval would be from 1 to 4. But this time, that will be square root of x minus 1 dx. Right? One example of this one is this 2. When x equals 2, the fractional part is square root of 2 minus 1. And then we do it from 4 to 9. It's going to be square root of x minus 2 dx. So you get the flow here. So we add this until we get to 44 to 45 of, 44 squared to 45 squared of square root of x minus 44 dx. 45 squared is 2025, which is the upper bound of our integral. So that's where we stop. Right? Do you get this split? Okay, so let's just make this a bit shorter by introducing the sigma notation. We can write this as the sum of the integral from n squared to n plus 1 squared of square root of x minus n dx. And we do that from n equals 0 until 44, until this one. So this and this as our bounds for the sum. I hope it's clear. Okay, now square root of x can be written as x to the 1/2, and this part right here is just a simple definite integral. So we can definitely evaluate that as the integral of x to the 1/2 minus n dx from n squared to n plus 1 squared. Now this one becomes x to the 3/2 over 3/2 by the power rule. Then this one becomes nx. All of this will be evaluated from n squared to n plus 1 squared. Okay, I hope it's clear. We just simplify this. This becomes 2/3 of x to the 3/2 minus nx from n squared to n plus 1 squared. It's a matter now of evaluating this bounds. So I'll just evaluate them here. So 2/3 x at n plus 1 squared. So n plus 1 squared to the 3/2, that will be n plus 1 cubed. Right? Similarly, n squared to the 3/2 will be n cubed. Okay? Minus n times x is n plus 1 squared minus n squared. Okay, we just now use binomial expansions here. This will be 2/3 of n cubed plus 3n squared plus 3n plus 1 minus n cubed minus n times n squared plus 2n plus 1 minus n squared. So this thing cancels out, this one and this one. So eventually we're left with 2/3 of 3n squared. That's n squared, 2n squared plus 2n plus 2/3 minus n times 2n. So that's 2n squared minus n. So this one will be or can be simplified to just n plus 2/3. Yes? So this one here, this definite integral right here, is equal to n plus 2/3. So we're nearly done. We just have to evaluate the sum from n equals 0 to 44 of n plus 2/3. Right? I hope it's clear. Now n here, we can use the formula n times n plus 1 over 2. So this will be 44 times 45 over 2. And then this one, 2/3, you will be adding 2/3 from 0 to 44. So that will be 45 times. So you just simplify this. This is 22. So 22 times 45 is 990. And then this one, cancel the 3. This is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. So the answer is 1020. So therefore, this integral right here is equal to 1020. And that's our final answer. Again, what we did here is we just expressed the fractional part function in terms of x and the floor of square root of x, like what we did earlier in the introduction of the floor function. And then eventually we evaluated from n squared to n plus 1 squared and then summed them up from 0 to 44. I hope that's clear. Yes. The only tedious part here is evaluating this this polynomial operations right here. Other than that, it should be doable in 2 minutes. Okay, now I'll discuss my second approach for this one. Now my second approach is a bit different because I will shift the perspective. So instead of integrating, this one is integrating with respect to x, I want to integrate with respect to another variable. And that variable is the fractional part itself. So I want to integrate with respect to the fractional part of square root of x itself. So to do this one, I will let the square root of x be n plus f, where n, as we've noted earlier, it's equal to the floor of square root of x. Now, if we fix that like we did earlier, we can express technically x as a function of f. So we can square both sides to get x is equal to n plus f squared. And now we find differential elements. The left side becomes dx, the right side becomes 2 times n plus f times derivative of n with respect to f is 0 because it's a fixed number. And then f is just df. So we have this relationship right here, that's dx is equal to 2 times n plus f df. So the original integral 0 to 2025 of 0 to 2025 of the fractional part of square root of x dx can be written as this part is f, and then dx is equal to 2 times n plus f df. Now what would be the bounds of integration? The bounds here would be 0 to 1 because f, the fractional part, runs from 0 to 1, right? But this only applies for each n. We still have to add all possible values of n in the interval 0 to 2025, similar to what we did in the first solution. So this will be the sum from n equals 0 to, again, 44, which is equal to the sum from n equals 0 to 44 of the integral from 0 to 1 of 2nf plus 2f squared df. What I like about this is that the integral now is much simpler than the one we have earlier because the bounds of this integration are 0 and 1, not something in terms of n. Right? So if we do this, if we integrate this, we get 2nf. So that's just n is a constant, so we're basically integrating 2f, and that's gonna be f squared. Then 2f squared by the power rule will be 2f cubed over 3. We evaluate this from 0 to 1, and we get the integral being equal to n times 1 squared minus 0, that's just 1. Then 2/3 times 1 cubed minus 0 cubed, again that's just 1. So we end up again with the same sum as the one we obtained earlier, which is the sum of n plus 2/3 from n equals 0 to 44, which, as we have evaluated earlier, is equal to 1020, which is our final answer. So again, what we did here is we express the variable x in terms of f and then integrate with respect to f. And eventually we ended up with something that is, for me personally, I think is simpler than the one we obtained earlier. This one has a bunch of n, which is, I think, longer to evaluate. So it's going to take longer, in my opinion, at least for me. It took me a longer time to answer this using the first solution than it did using the second solution. Okay? I hope you learned something from me today. If you have any questions, clarifications, or violent reactions, just let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.